Ladies and gentlemen, Two Dudes Talk Music in conjunction with E. Brown Industries and Big Jerry Burger brings to you everybody's new favourite game show, Get in the Bin. Now, let's go to our host, Reverend Raph and the beer buddy, Kyle. What's happening, everybody? I am the Reverend Raph, joined once again by my good friend Kyle, a.k.a. the beer buddy.
What's going on, everybody?
We are the Two Dudes Who Talk Music, and we are joined by Mudrat once again for the third video this week. This is going to be wrapping up our series of videos with good mate this week. We're going to have links. New song. You don't care about poor people. It's out right now. Make sure you go and give it a listen. But today we are here for everybody's favorite Sunday night game show. We are here for Get in the Bin. This is where we ask our esteemed guests if they had phenomenal cosmic powers and could just snap their fingers and eliminate or change three things out of the music business, what would they be and why? We have a little discussion about each of them. And there we go. That's going to be the whole thing. So without further ado, mate, what is the first thing you would change about the music business and why?
Oh, I mean, we could do fucking 20, but we'll try to keep it to 3. What comes to mind first? I think the notion of having to figure out who you are as an artist or as a band within a few short years of doing music, and having to be it by 24 is a fucking ridiculous statement. And I think we're living proof that what used to be a thing in music with artist development was actually an actual concept that it once focused on, in terms of you'd get signed and not put out a record for 6 years or whatever, back in the day. And that's gone completely out of the window with the streaming and social media and all that sort of thing. Is labels are just finding artists and trying it. If it doesn't work, throwing them out. Fuck labels also, on the most part. I just think the notion of taking your time and all of us are in that sort of place, and when you do get your opportunity, you then make the most of it because you've made all the mistakes already. So especially in this country, you only really get one proper shot out of here. So you got to be ready, and that takes time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and look, we've seen it, man. Kyle and I have been around it. We've been doing the shit in some form or fashion for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. We've been around. We've seen the fucking band. And I go out now to shows up here, and I see bands, and all the people in the bands are, they were born after I started playing music. And I'm like, what are you? I'm like, I love seeing it. Don't get me wrong. I love the passion. I love the excitement. But I'm like, the cynical side of me is like, man, you all got a lot to fucking learn yet. Yeah. And I don't say that to shit on them. I say that as a fact.
But they have YouTube now, and they can just see what not to do.
Well, if they care enough to pay attention.
Yeah, if they care to,
Which we've seen they don't always, isn't always the case.
Unless you're like me, and I've got to burn myself on the hot plate before I get the point.
But hey, for some people, that's how it has to happen. Everyone makes mistakes like that in their life, I guess. But yeah, no, 100% agree. I think it's really important, and it's just living proof, that now you can take your time a bit with it. And it works.
Yeah,
this could still work.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. What's number 2? What's your second thing?
I think, and it's cool because it's exactly what Thrashville is. But I think the whole model of the big gigantic festival, the 3 days camper, is just dead. And I think in general, I just want to see more niche, smaller festivals and events, and mainly festivals, because I think there's a desire always for people in this country to go see music. I just think economically people are priced out of those big ones, and Triple J is not what it was. I think it doesn't take. Yeah, I think it's with smart planning and just enough investment, you could have a lot more of smaller things and I think you'd see sort of that music economy grow again. But they just keep fucking. I mean, I guess they've sort of been forced to just not do it now. Like they've had to learn the hard way. But yeah, I think just accepting that it's dead, because it has died. It dies and it comes back. That's just what happens under capitalism. But in music in particular, and I hope to just see more kind of either more DIY shit, but if there is going to be kind of like St Kilda Fest here that we do in Melbourne is like it's one of the best things, like fan experiences I think you can have, and I think something like Thrashville is going to be really cool, and I just want to see just more of that.
Yeah, I mean, you even have a look at like
cheaper entry price. Yeah.
Froth and Fury in Adelaide, you know, stuff like that. You know, like all those little. Because even then, like you have a look at Splendid now. I don't think Splendid's coming back. I don't. After the what they had that massive fuck up 2 years ago that we spoke about, Raf, where the whole thing flooded and people died of sepsis and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then was it this year they cancelled it again?
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming back.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like the festival circuit in Australia is struggling.
Not for metalheads,
but but for metal and metal music, it still seems to be going fairly strong. Like Nowherefest and Good Things both did quite well this year, despite all of the bitching about the lineups, which I think most people complaining about it were way off base. Like both of those lineups were very, very stellar lineups in my eye. Like I think they were great lineups. So it's weird, and I think that somewhat does speak to the passion of heavy music fans. As like we music festivals are such a key thing for heavy music fans. Like a lot of us grew up on, like Big Day Out, Home Bake, and all this stuff, and we've got such great memories of it. It's such an ingrained part in our culture for heavy metal music that I think that's one of the reasons they're still going strong. For how much longer, I don't know. They may start to downturn soon as well, but I guess we'll see. Like a part of it,
as long as we keep buying tickets to these things, they're going to keep.
But I think part of it as well will depend on how much longer Nowherefest is going to be continuing in Australia, because I think from memory, they kind of, whenever they've done Nowherefest in various countries, they kind of do it for a few years and then take a break for a little bit. And kind of start doing it somewhere else.
That's good marketing.
And they've done a few years in Australia now. So are they going to be back next year? We don't know. I guess we'll find out. But if they pull out of the space, then Good Things is kind of going to be the big one. And they're going to then sort of have the market cornered, I guess. But we'll see. But I like that it's kind of healthy in that regard. But it's such a difficult thing, because even these smaller festivals, like a lot of the time, if you're playing early on those festivals, like the people just aren't there. It's tough. It's tough. There are people running it, people playing it. But well, like we said, like we got, we're going to be at Nowherefest in a few weeks up here, and that's like it's an all day thing. It's like $40 for the tickets, and there's like I don't know, over a dozen bands on the lineup, 2 stages. Like it's crazy value. And you got bands coming from overseas for it. So it's like it's hectic. Like why wouldn't you go? Why wouldn't you go? I love it. All right, and what's your third thing? Tough to pick just one more.
I think I don't know if it's necessarily no, do you know what it is? It's just more transparency, like a cultural shift in which artists in particular share more about their experiences with the industry, particularly certain fucking like bottom feeding shark cunts that like make a living off just like extorting money out of young vulnerable artists that don't really know what they're doing. And I think so much of it is this like silo effect where you're in such a vulnerable position, and people in the industry are aware of that and kind of play on that, and so you can have a really terrible experience, but or sign like a bad deal and you still want to pretend that that was a good decision because the shame of saying that you made a mistake when, of course, you're going to make a mistake. You don't know what you're doing. There's no playbook.
Yeah, you don't have a lawyer with you.
Yeah,
Can't-
and so I think that so much more would be, would be solved if people were just able to speak about that, like without shame, and just share. If there was like I don't know, like that thing with your GP where you can like read a review or something about that, like a database like that exists. I know that people would then probably like slander people like unnecessarily or whatever, but like just I think in general, just a more unionized kind of. Here we go. I'm getting on my shit again.
No. We talk about it all the time, man.
Yeah, it's just it preys on us being like divided. And I think all it is if we are able to get over the shame that we're made to feel, we'd be able to communicate and share and recognize that like they are a useful asset and a necessary asset. And there's a lot of good people that work in there, but as a structure, they're not our mates. And
No, they're there to make money off you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so therefore, if it's this thing of like, you acknowledge that like they're trying to fuck us like at all times, that's how it functions. So therefore we should be doing our best to share as much information so that we're as solid as possible. And unfortunately, the dog eat dog nature of it all doesn't really lead to that. So I think we'd see a lot of change if we were just able to shift the culture a little bit, and maybe that's something that we can try and sort of do.
Mate, we're screaming here, but like Raf said it so many times, it's just like being in a union. I'm a shit kicker. Like I've been in unions, I've done the picket line thing.
Yeah.
For every 50 people you got out there on the picket line, you're going to have 5 or 10 people that go into work.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it goes, man.
And
you're going to say no, another band's going to say yes.
Yeah. And that's the problem, I think, with what makes, and I don't give, like, I'm all for the idea of, like musicians unionizing or trying to find a way to, ensure their value in it. But it's just one of those industries that's become so squeezed across the board. And like, the industry is relying on all these other industries to work. And not just that, but it's I mean, the arts is always something that has, in times of financial difficulty for people, the arts is always one of the first things to go.
100%.
And when so many musicians are also in that category of people that are financially struggling a lot of the time, it's like this vicious cycle. And the best thing I can say, just going back to your point about people getting like taken advantage of and ripped off by people, is if you've got an offer in front of you that seems too good to be true, it quite probably most likely is. And if you're going to be doing business with somebody, look into who else they've worked with and reach out to those people and say, hey, I see you've done business with so and so. How did that go? What was that like? Is there any? Just try and ask the questions. And if someone reaches out to you asking that question about someone you've worked with, be honest about it. There's this idea, I think, for a lot of people that, I don't want to be seen to be talking shit about someone that I had a bad experience with. In my view, it's not talking shit if you're telling the truth. And, for me, like, if I've had bad experiences with people, and someone asks about it, I'll let people know. I will try and be respectful about how I go about it, if I can. But, it's just, you're right. Like more talking to each other, more,
This was my experience with, not this person is an asshole.
Yeah.
No. This was my experience, and lay out the experience with them. And here's my advice to any band. If anyone comes up to you and goes, you guys are doing such good work, we'd like to sign you, just keep doing the work yourself. Because the only reason why they've actually noticed you is because you've done all that work yourself, and you've probably fucking made all the numbers anyway yourself. So just keep going yourself.
You gotta put in the hours to just your energy into becoming something worth like marketing. Creating worth for them to want to come in. But so often, like we there's this like save me like complex like that sort of like artists have of like I need someone to come in and like fix this like for me, or like discover me, or like whatever it is. And it's like the more that you can do all of that for yourself, the more leverage you're going to have one day when you don't need them, and it can only be a thing that adds to your career. But like they are looking to prey on you being like, oh, I'll take anything because it's so hard out here. But you can just get to people directly first without them, and then you can decide your sort of terms. Like we went to Big Sound last year, and I was like, I don't give a fuck if I walk out of here with nothing. Like it was so fun, and everything that we played, they were fucking everyone wanted a piece, and I was like, cool, because we got this started ourselves, and now we got it. We made a decision where we've got a booking agent, we've got a manager, but they're both really good people. That's like, it's a rarity in this industry, but you got to have that. I don't need it, but I'll take what we're worth, and and be prepared to walk away.
You know what we need? We need a label that is structured around like a profit sharing sort of thing. So like where the artists that are on the label are also part owners of the label. Together, something like that. We need that.
So you
sort
put
of
it
setup.
like the stock exchange or whatever, and then whatever profit.
Not even the stock exchange.
For an example, be like you give shares to the company.
So so the artists that are on there get a share of ownership, and so you want to do well so that you do well for you, but then the label is also like everyone wants to help everyone, because when everyone does well, everyone does better out of it. We need that. We need
more of that.
But anyway, we'll wrap it up there before we get too far down
the communist music in the background right now.
Like, slowly put the fucking the sickle on there or something.
I had how
he's gone.
I bet you his phone died. I hate the fact that it goes from people getting a fair go that we just move straight into communism. Like, it's not that.
It's not that. Okay. Well, look, I mean, hey, I'm not sure if he's going to jump back in or not, but hey, look, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much to Mudrat for jumping in on that one today. That was awesome. Thank you so much for chatting. We're going to have links to all Mudrat stuff down there. But look, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, downvote the shit out of it. And remember, my name is Raf. He's the beer buddy, Kyle. That was Mudrat. Thank you again, mate, for joining us. Sorry, we don't know what happened with your phone there, but if you watched this far, you're a legend. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and we'll catch you guys next time. Stay cool.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel, and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.